I don't know if you guys saw this story of this man that recently got married to a crocodile. Now, the first time I saw it, I thought, what are the odds? This is the guy. He's there with his crocodile wife. It happened a few days back, and so. And the thing that piqued my interest out of this was the way society or our society is very much self-centered, and it's kind of like pivoting towards almost perversion or something that's even worse or something like that. On a different video, I think we can talk about another particular part of this video, and I think that might be the next video. By the way, we'll do the live stream, but we'll have to push it to 8 o'clock because there is load shedding. That's gonna hit at about 6 o'clock. I think it ends at 8 towards 8:30. So I'll see you when the load shedding ends. So, and the thought line of what I was thinking about is how people are losing the art of conversation. First, it was the social media hype of short form content with TikTok and like this craze over these platforms that publish shorter span content. And so that really dealt a number for people that to a point when you can't even hold a conversation nowadays with some people. And then now we have this here, kind of looking at this big article over on the side from the Mexican something. I don't know what the name of this platform is. Let me see if I can pan over to it. And this is what it says, right? Mexican mayor marries alligator. And so it goes on, it goes on. And this was very recent, if you can see that part there, right? So this was extremely recent. Let me see if I can dim that down. So this was very, very, very recent. It's like July the 4th or so. That's when that happened. And so it got me very interested because in my head I was thinking, there's this disassociation with other people that's been very massive. It's been happening. We've seen some of it even in church, in the church space after COVID. A lot of people didn't want to go to church anymore. And so I pray at my house, kind of like the thing. That became the subject matter. So there's this distancing and preference for self, right? I remember seeing the story of a woman that divorced her husband because he got sick. And it was very recent. I think it was around June. And her reason for that was that the guy was making her life difficult. So the till death do us part would have only applied only in the case of her being sick, but not for her towards him. Let me see if I can find it. I didn't remember. I didn't think I would actually call it out. Divorce. And the man was like, you know what, it's okay, I understand. After husband got sick. And let me see. Yes, it was June. Was it June this year? And she even went on a supposed run for him. She said she was going for a run so that he will have faith. He will be strong to so that he will be strong. Yes, the guy got cancer. It says her ex-husband, who was married to her senior, was diagnosed with cancer 3 months into their marriage, and so she stayed with him for another 5 months. And so after that, she pretty much got tired and said, "No ways, I'm not doing that," and she dipped it. This story was published very recently. It was in June. Yeah, I remember seeing that particular story. I don't want to show it right now. It's on the Daily Mail one. I think you might actually find it there. Let me see if I can show you that one. And so, preference for self. So there, okay. Says wife divorced husband for drowning into self-pity, and after discovering that he was lying in with cancer and so forth. And it goes on and goes on. You can actually go and see the article online. Self-preference is becoming a thing. What is the reason for this man getting married to thingy? Self-preference. Now, in this particular thing, in this particular story, it actually looks like it's a tradition in Mexico, right? Because I did see another article back in 2017 where it actually shows the same thing happened with a different mayor and stuff. But if you think about it, in the broad sense of the subject that I'm kind of going for here, self-preference is becoming a thing. You hear, there was one gospel singer, we don't have to name him, he got divorced, and it wasn't they had issues in their marriage. He said he wanted to focus on himself. So what does that mean, that you want to focus on yourself after you got married? Self-preference. And so this is the thing that was kind of like in my head. I might come back at this topic with a different subject or with another leaning subject, particularly on Kokoma, and I think that would be the place where we can fully talk about it. There's a story that I want to talk about, particularly on that particular lane. But I will share that one tomorrow. It's actually show with the daily Christian commentary videos. There's a lot of self-preference. And self-preference goes at the sacrifice of others. And basically, it looks at itself before it could consider what others' position is. A person takes a vow for marriage, and they can't stay to it in choosing to self. I thought it was quite an interesting one, but I'll further this topic. I'll see you guys at 8 o'clock because the load shedding, once load shedding hits here, I won't be able to think it. For the next hour, it will be off. You're probably seeing this video at around 6 o'clock. So at 8 o'clock, I'll be up and I'll put up the schedule and I'll see you then. It's Ricky. Y'all have a good one. Y'all tell me what you think. Self-preference, which is one of the things that the Bible actually wants, would be very prevalent in the last days. He says men will prefer themselves, the pleasure of self. And so it becomes that self-sacrifice for others to the benefit of others is no more. The benefit of building a relationship is no more in preference to oneself. But we'll further this topic later on. I just thought this story was quite an interesting one. They're not marrying these animals. We've seen the story before where another woman actually got married to them. It has nothing to do with them marrying these animals. It is practically choosing oneself. And there's a lot of it. It's funny that in the last day, it looks like it gets only worse. I'll see you on a later on. Y'all have a